The year is 2020. A man and his daughter go for a swim at a dam in Eswatini. The sun is shining and it seems like they are going to have a beautiful day ahead of them. However, things are about to go quickly wrong. As the man goes for a swim, his daughter is standing on a rock recording him. However, soon after he enters the water, he begins to struggle. Something is happening below the surface of the water. The man struggles in the water and it seems like something is dragging him under. He tries his hardest to get back to land. However, as much as he tries, he never makes it back. The man disappears below the surface of the water. Sadly, this is the last time his daughter would ever see him alive. As soon as the video is published, the comment section pinned the reason for this man's death on one thing: a legend that has been haunting South Africa for as long as anyone can remember. The legend of the Inkanyamba. The legend of the Inanyamba is one that has fascinated me for a long time. So long that I could no longer ignore the anxiety in my own mind. I had to go out and search for this mythical beast myself. That's exactly what I did, and I found something quite scary. I'll get to that soon. However, I'd first like to talk about the legend of the beast and why it's so interesting to me. The Inkanyamba is a legend that first makes its appearance in old cave paintings that were found in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. These paintings show a fearsome snake that is larger than anything that has ever been seen in nature before. However, this isn't just a natural threat. The Inkanyamba is also a supernatural being, one that is claimed to not just be a monster, but also a spirit. According to the legend of the Inkanyamba, it can cause immensely powerful storms and can kill you just by looking directly into your eyes. However, like any legend, it changes depending on who you ask, which explains why some people see the Inkanyamba as a god, but others see it as a monster. Armed with this knowledge and a team of my co-workers, we made our way to the hunting grounds of the Inkanyamba, or at least one of them. However, I wasn't prepared for what I found there. Even before getting to the falls, we were met with the stark realization that many before us have died at this location. The first recorded death was in 1851, when a 12-year-old boy named William Ledge was swept over the falls while riding a horse across the river. Over the next 170 years, 17 people at minimum lost their lives at the falls, with an unknown number of other people also coming quite close to death. Arriving at the falls, we found that it was a spectacular sight. However, it was also strange that the pool at the bottom of the falls was quite small. That would be a problem for a monster that existed within the natural confines of the human mind. However, for a spiritual being, there is an infinite number of ways that it could have existed down there. Around the falls stood a large gate covered in locks. These locks had names etched into them, and it seems like lovers would come here to lock in their destinies. It's a nice thought, but also a strange one, considering this is the rumored location of one of South Africa's oldest monsters. While our trip occurred in the late evening, the atmosphere was sufficiently creepy. However, the skies hadn't turned dark yet, so it was safe to say that we wouldn't be seeing the Inkanyamba. However, what we did see was actually quite strange. One of the first things we noticed when arriving at the falls was a man on the other side. He threw something into the falls, however it was too far to see. While we initially brushed it off as nothing, it happened a second time and then a third time. Throughout our 2-hour stay at the falls, 3 people had individually come to the edge of the falls and thrown things in. We had to find out what was happening, so we found someone who worked in the area and questioned him about it. Out of respect for the stranger, I didn't record our interaction. However, what we had just witnessed occurred quite often. The man claimed that every day a number of people come to the edge of the falls and throw things into it. These were, according to him, sacrifices to the Inkanyamba. While it wasn't clear what those sacrifices entailed or why they were given, they still give us a glimpse of the powerful hold that this being has on people, even in the modern age. Looking back at the legend, what I witnessed wasn't strange at all. According to one version of the legend of the Inanyamba, the most devout Sangomas can go to its location and leave sacrifices. These sacrifices are either in worship of the creature or fear of it. There is a very small group of people who do believe that by leaving sacrifices to the Inkanyamba, you can actually control it, manipulating it to attack your enemies for you. However, this legend is only believed by a small group of people. Because of the immense power that the Inkanyamba is perceived to have, most people actually believe that a being as powerful as this cannot or should not be controlled. While I had gone to the Howick Falls to look for the Inkanyamba, which is one of the most famous locations it's known to be at, there are also a number of other locations it could have been at. This is because it's claimed that the monster moves from one area to another quite often, creating a storm while it does. This storm could either be a side effect of its immense power or a disguise that it uses to not be seen by people. The legend of the Inkanyamba also claims that it's not just one beast, but instead an entire species of them, and they move around freely, often finding others of their species during mating season. One of the theories I've come across quite often is that the Inkanyamba is not just a being that lives in South Africa, but also all around the world. One of the earliest recordings of a giant snake that lives in water comes from the Bible. In the book of Job, Job is talking to God about all the bad things that has happened in his life. When God starts to talk about Leviathan, he talks about how strong and powerful Leviathan is, and in its description, it seems very familiar to the Inkanyamba. Another popular legend, similar to the legend of the Inkanyamba, is the legend of the Loch Ness Monster. Nessie, as it's nicknamed, is a mythical creature that frequents the Loch Ness Lake in Scotland. However, this legend has become a lot less feared over time, and instead become more endearing. There are a number of other legends, however the similarities between them and the Inkanyamba are quite striking, which makes me wonder whether they are all the same creature. All this being said, I have to conclude that within my own investigations, I regrettably did not come across the Inkanyamba. However, knowing the things I know about the legend, I believe that that just may be a blessing. What I did come across, however, was evidence that whether this monster exists or not, the legend it left behind still has a hold over many people. This, of course, does not mean that I'll stop searching, because I'm convinced that even if the entire legend is not real, at least some part of it is. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you liked the video and leave a like, as it does help with the algorithm. If you have any questions or experiences with the Inkanyamba, leave them in the comments down below. Until next time, this is Dark, signing out.